When you work remotely, nobody is looking over your shoulders. You're at home, there is Netflix, there is your bed. There are a lot of things that can keep you distracted, and that is why you need a good dose of self-discipline. Who am I and why should you listen to me? I am Amarachi and I've been working remotely for the past 4 to 5 years. I love working remotely because it has given me the opportunity to have a flexible career that allows me to live across different parts of the world, having moved countries twice now and yet not being out of work for a single day. I am also a mom. Being a remote worker has helped me to have a great productive life where I am both mom and also doing very well in my career. In this video, I'm going to be sharing 5 must-have soft skills that remote workers need to have. Meanwhile, if you're new to the channel, please do well to subscribe, like this video, share with your friends, and just support this channel. Thank you. Number 1, create a time schedule for your day and stick to it. Create focus times in your calendar, times where no one can book meetings, times that you know that, okay, this is the time I have to focus on work now for the next 2 to 3 hours. I'm not going to do anything outside of work, and be very, very stringent with that time. Also, use Google Calendar tools like Todoist. You can use a note. I'm still the traditional girly. I use my notes for my to-do list. You can use the apps. I recommend Todoist. Use your Google Calendar to schedule your day. So ensure that you use your Google Calendar and your Todoist to plan your day ahead of time. Because these tools also helps you to prioritize your day, because when you start out your day as a remote worker, some tasks can just fling in from anywhere. Learn to prioritize the things that have to be done immediately and the things that can be set for later. The fact that you work from home does not mean that someone can just come in and say, oh, can you help me review something? And then you have to use the time that you should work to do something that is outside of your work activities. So be more stringent with your time, be very disciplined and dedicated to ensuring that the time that you've set out to work, that you do only work related things during those times. A couple of persons have also recommended the Pomodoro technique. I don't use that technique. I mostly time block and just do my work. But if you're someone who have a difficulty in focusing for a period of time, you can try the Pomodoro technique, which basically means you working for a chunk of minutes. You could say, okay, I'm going to do this for 20 minutes, and then you do 20 minutes, then you take like 5 minutes break, and then you come back and do another 20 minutes. Second skill that has helped me so much is communication. I usually tell people that while working remotely, you don't just communicate the same way you communicate when people are meeting you physically, right? Because when it comes to physical interactions, there are a lot of things you can use in your favor, including your gesticulations, your facial expressions, your body language. When you're working remotely, nobody sees all those things. In some Zoom meetings, people turn off their camera, so you don't see all those things. And that is why when you want to communicate, you communicate extensively. You communicate and also portray both your intent as well. Don't just send out ambiguous or vague messages without adding some context to them to avoid the risk of misinterpretation. When we are talking about communication, you should also try to shine some light on the work that you do across your other teams. You are the one responsible to provide some level of visibility to the work you do. Ensure that the eyes that need to see the results and impact of your projects and your work get to see them, whether weekly, monthly, or quarterly. Still on communication, schedule one-on-ones and team syncs, recap syncs, post-mortem syncs with various teammates. I know that people usually prefer synchronous communication, that's through the Slack messages or Discord messages, but as much as time permits, try to schedule the synchronous communications and actually have these meetings. Last point that I'm going to raise as regarding communication is to try to keep your video on during your team meetings. I have worked remotely for a while and I know how the temptation could be to keep your video off and just be on the background. Sometimes you're even in meetings and you're in the kitchen doing something. It is not a good practice. When it's time for meetings, find a comfortable space, sit down like you're in an office, and turn on your video. We have little interactions when it comes to remote work, and the one way we can keep ourselves connected is through our video calls. So as much as you can help it, please try to connect through video most of the time. But 3 points that I'm going to share here is adaptability. I have had situations where I worked for a company where most of my teammates were based in the US, and what this meant was that most of my team meetings happened way later in the day, 8 p.m., which made me even stay up like for longer parts of my day. You have to be adaptable, be flexible, a growth mindset. Instead of saying I can't do this, try to ask yourself, how can I figure this out? Be someone whose impact and input in the team is very recognizable, very tangible, and almost nearly indispensable. Number four, and one of the biggest struggles of remote workers is, when do you actually stop working in a day? Develop boundaries. Because your home is also where you work, it can be difficult to know when exactly to stop working. Now, here are some of the tips that I've implemented in setting boundaries and maintaining a level of work-life balance as a remote worker. Number one is to have a dedicated work area. As you can see, this is my workspace. This is where I work from. And the moment I leave this space, I'm leaving the laptop and everything work related behind. This has helped me to maintain that balance where I know that, okay, now I'm done with work and I go do other things. Avoid working from the bed. The very first year of my remote work, I worked from the bed. I didn't have a workspace. And thankfully, I wasn't married then, but it affected my work-life balance because I spent so much time on my laptop, even way deep into the night. The thing I do when it comes to creating boundaries and maintaining a good work-life balance is to take breaks. And these days, I don't just take breaks and maybe do something else or press my phone. I take breaks and I take walks. In this part of the world where sunlight is a luxury, on days where we have sunny days, I usually enjoy taking a walk with my toddler for 10 to 15 minutes, and then I come back and resume my work. It is so helpful. We get to have that moment to bond with my son while also working. It is a leverage that remote work has, that you're working from home and you can afford to take those walks. So do take those walks. You can set a notification on your Slack that you're going for a work, so teammates are aware that you're out of office for that 15 minutes. But it's not a long time, so you can decide not to set up anything. The last tip that I'm going to share, the last thing that have helped me, is to always communicate your time offs. This would have fallen into communication, but I just had to make it a different point because working remotely without discipline, it is easy for you to start thinking that you can quickly go on break without alerting anybody. If you have to go on break, inform your manager and get their approval. For some offices, they have what is called unlimited PTO, which is that you can go on break any time of the year you want. But some offices have 24 days work leave in a year. So before you take any leave, let your manager know. If you are sick, communicate effectively, set up the things that you have to set up, your out of office messages, your calendar blocking, showing that you're out of office. If there are things you have to delegate to someone to handle while you're away, ensure you do those things. I see people who work remotely and the days they are sick, they just go, oh, I'm sick, and they vanish from the office because it's not a physical office. You just shut down your computer and go lie on the bed. But it's important that you set out those things that you have to do. I know it may be difficult, maybe because you're sick or an emergency came up, but try to follow due process before you go out of office when you work remotely. In this video, I already shared 5 soft skills. I should have specified that earlier. It's soft skills. We talked about self-discipline and time management, adaptability, work-life balance and setting boundaries, transparency, and I hope that you got some value in this video. Please do well to subscribe, like, and comment on the video, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye for now.